I need the recording to stop.
Just tap it.
All right. Hey, welcome everybody. My name is Chris Cook. I live in Knoxville, Tennessee, and I'm Direct to Symmetry Financial Group. Welcome to this week's Cook Agency Zoom session, if you will. We're going to go ahead and we like to start out each week just bragging on the people that went out there and made it happen this past week here within our company. So I am going to get into those details in just a second. Let me look this up on my computer here. And let's recognize, actually, I want to recognize a lot of people on this board this week. I recognize everybody wrote over 3,000 this past week. We got Robert Schaefer's coming in at 3,057 this past week. Way to go, Robert Schaefer's up in the great state of Michigan. Val Zarn, 3,095 this past week, coming from California. Elijah Carujo coming from the great state of Virginia. Way to go, Elijah, 3,202. We got Stephen Durgan. I think he's in Connecticut. I think that's right.
Yep.
Grant, is that right? Connecticut, buddy?
Yes, sir.
Stephen Durgan, man. Hey, no stranger to our leaderboards, 3,566 in premium. I love these leaderboards because it just shows the diversity of our group. Man, we got a lot of people in a lot of areas, so I love this. And so that's really powerful stuff. Trent Price, check this out, 3,657 coming from the great state of North Carolina. I've yet to mention the same state twice. How awesome is that? So that's really cool. Getting into our top four. You heard this guy last week on our leaderboard. I think he was a little bit over 3,000 last week, guys. We had Brian Hamby. He's in our top four again this week. Listen to this. He's part-time. Keep in mind, he works 50 hours a week running his other, working for his other company, 40, 50, 60 hours a week a lot of times, but still finds time to make our leaderboards each and every week now. 6,740 in premium for Mr. Brian Hamby. Very proud of you, buddy. You did that on 5 applications. Love those numbers. And Shane Dez, hailing from the great state of California. Way to go, Shane Dez. Super proud of you, buddy, coming into number 3 spot, 7,500 in premium. Always super positive on our group me chats and stuff like that. So happy for you, Shane. Very proud of you, man. 7,500 in premium. That's awesome. Number 2 spot, Jordan Gillum. No stranger to our leaderboards, 5 applications, $7,757 in premium this past week on 5 applications. Way to go, Jordan Gillum. Love that, buddy. Getting consistent on those leaderboards. That's good stuff. Can only be one number 1. Certainly no stranger to our leaderboards. Always high on our app count leaderboards. Check this out. This person wrote 15 applications this past week. You heard it right. 15 applications in 1 week. And no stranger to our leaderboards for $9,498 in premium. Miss Laura Davis, the Warrior Princess herself. So very proud of you, Laura. That is awesome. 15 applications, $9,498 in the great state of Tennessee. Jordan's in Tennessee. Shane is out in California. Brian Hamby's here in Tennessee. I didn't get to mention the states those people were from. So just amazing. And you know, what I love about this just shows the diversity of our team, diversity of our organization. There's so many people that I didn't mention because that's what it took just to get on our leaderboards this past week. So very proud of everybody going out there and making the leaderboards this past week. Super, super good stuff. We got some really special things coming in the month of July that I believe our business is going to take off even more. So super proud of all you guys on that one right there. Bear with me. I am looking through my stuff. I want to get into our business builder leaderboards. Why is that important? It's the people that are building a business here. It's the people that are going to make a long-term career out of Symmetry Financial. It's the people that 5 years from now, you'll see them. They probably are a producer right now, but 5 years from now, they should be leading probably large organizations. And, you know, for those that do it and do it correctly, probably $250,000, $500,000 type year or more type of income for those people that take advantage of it. Hold on just a second, guys. We got a lot of people in the waiting room, and my stuff is making sure we get them all right. All right. So anyway, bear with me. I've got everybody coming on board there. Yep. I think I got everybody now. But these are the people that are going out and building a large organization with us and people that are looking to build a future and a career here. So let's get into that. STP's 10 plus this past week. We had Mr. Jared Gillum and myself. Way to go, Jared Gillum. Really good stuff this past week. What we're looking at next is new recruits this past week. And Tina, you tell me if I got any of this wrong. I think I've got them all correct. Myself had a brand new recruit. Grant Reynolds had a brand new recruit. Brian Hamby had a brand new recruit. Tim Harris had a brand new recruit. Way to go, buddy. And Jordan and Jared Gillum, way to go. Two brand new recruits this past week. So Tina, I think I read those off correctly. I know you sent those to me today. And also, I love this, and I really love this part. 3 new writers this past week in our organization. So very proud of these people. We got Gisela Zamora, brand new writer, part of the Valzarn organization. We got Joseph Daniel Schubert. I hope I'm pronouncing your name correctly. Part of the Elijah Carujo organization. Way to go, Joseph. And we've got Philip Barr, part of the Betsy Barr Growing organization, the Mark Neubauer hierarchy. So very proud of that organization. Way to go, Betsy. That's super good stuff, buddy. So anyway, so very proud of everybody making those leaderboards. Tina, I pray I didn't miss anything. You can give me a head nod from the office if you would. All right, so we're good. All right, thank you. All right, I'm admitting some more people here. We're getting everybody in our structure. So I want to cover that, guys. And then also I want to cover real quick, got some news and notes for all you guys out there, news and notes. We have a new agent call hosted every Wednesday, 11 a.m. Eastern. All right, getting more people in here. Got a ton of people on the call today. That's a good thing. So we got a new agent call coming up tomorrow. What if I could tell you, you could sit down, you could take notes from somebody that started here. And once they started here, 10 months later, they already own their own business officially here at Symmetry Financial, meaning that you could set for an hour, take notes, and then at the end of that hour, you could ask them live any question you want about getting your business to another level. What if we could provide that for you? Would that be of something of value to you? In 10 months, they went from 0 to 50,000 a month in production with 7 unique writers plus on their team, right? In 10 months from the day they started, never been a part of the insurance industry before. What if I could say you have that opportunity to do that? Would that be of value to you? Well, if it is, tune in tomorrow. You got my man, Grant Reynolds, going to be on that new agent call and going to be hosting that for you guys. So make sure you're plugging into those. If you're brand new with us, taking advantage of that. And then at the end, ask questions. Man, we love questions. We're going to give you the answers. We just simply ask, are you willing to, when we give you the answers, are you willing to get out of your comfort zone and take that advice? It's something you got to ask yourself, right? But you have a chance tomorrow to hear from our agency owner, Grant Reynolds, at the ripe old age of 24, runs his own business in his own organization. And I'm telling you, special things are coming for that organization because really good stuff. So take notes on that right there. Another couple of things here. We have a corporate overview Wednesday. So that gives you an opportunity what a corporate overview is. You can plug people into that right there. You're going to hear from the best and brightest in our organization. I think this week we've got Laura Davis hosting the corporate overview. Can't remember who our co-host is, but we'll get that out there to you. Is it Grant?
Yep.
I love it. So we got Grant Reynolds and Laura Davis hosting the corporate overview this week. It's going to be pretty special. So I just make sure you guys plug into that. Here's the thing. It's not for vets to plug into. I don't want, to see a bunch of vets on there. That's not what it's designed for. It's designed if you are a vet and you went out there and you've recruited somebody to the business, get those people on there. And you allow us to show them what we do, show them the wealth of opportunity that is Symmetry Financial Group. And guess what? If they decide to come on board, they're your people. So I'm telling you, you've got Laura Davis, Grant Reynolds co-hosting that event this week. It's going to be pretty special. That's how you can do it. 7 p.m. Eastern on Wednesday. We're going to post up the link today for that. So to be looking out for that. Also, friendly reminder, 5-week month here at Symmetry Financial Group. We get excited about those because it's an extra week that we get from a business to go in and post more numbers that month. And if you know how our raises work, every 2 months you can get a raise here at Symmetry Financial. One of the things that when I first got here, I was like, man, I want to get a raise every 2 months. And you get a 5% commission increase every 2 months based on your volume of business. A launching pad for a lot of us in this industry was these 5-week turn-in months because we have 1 extra week of production that we can put towards that. So no matter whatever level you're on, this should be a great launching pad this month for you to go get your next raise. And if you're not getting a raise, you should get with your mentor today, asking yourself, how can I go get a raise? What do I need to do? Because here's what you do. If you do the math to that, folks, that's $50 more per application. So if you're writing 20 applications in a month, you just gave yourself a $1,000 a month raise. Simple math. If you're part-time with us, like Brian Hamby is, say you're writing 10 applications in a month, you just gave yourself a $500 a month raise. Could anybody out there use a raise? Show of hands. I can't see all of you, but I'm pretty sure everybody probably just raised their hands up. Yeah, self-included, right? You're self-included. So anyway, just make sure that you know the importance of that and you're stressing that. And if you're running an organization, make sure your people understand the value of getting a raise. Another friendly reminder, hey, just to make sure we got everything. Remember, we run a GroupMe based app. That app is a business forum. It's designed to, it's designed to show people our results. That's what that is for. It's designed to, you can gain the value. If you're Julian Tate and you're up in Indiana, you can gain the value of seeing what Grant Reynolds is doing over in Virginia Beach, right? Or if you're in Virginia, you see the value of what Val Zarn and his organization is doing out in California, Joe Martinez, his organization down in Arizona. You get to see the value of what Symmetry does all across the United States. You see that value, right? What it's not a political forum. It's not a religious forum. And so be respectful of that. We just humbly ask, remember, it's a friendly reminder. We always, have to reset those boundaries and just understand, when you're posting something, is this a business post that I'm posting? Ask yourself that. And as long as you're within those guidelines, you can feel free that that's a good thing to post. And we're looking for results on there. So results matter, and people that are in business with us, that's what they're looking for as well. Results, right? So just a friendly reminder, it's a business forum. Keep it about business. Cool. All right. So, all right. And I think I got my man out there. Grant Reynolds, you out there, buddy?
I'm here.
Man.
Wow.
You are here. Look at you. You live and in effect, man. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing well, man. I'm doing well.
Man, you are doing well. You know what I love, man? I think it's last month, y'all weren't over 50,000 was the month of January. I love that. I love the leadership on your team. You got Durgan, you got Elijah, yourself. You guys will not allow your team to do below 50,000 a month. I love that, buddy. You know what I mean? I love it, man. And so very proud of you. So very proud of the organization you're building. And you're running it like a business too, right?
Yep. 100%.
100%, man. And I love that, man. I love the example you're setting at the ripe old age, folks. Brand new, it's 24 years old. He's out there getting it done. So proud of you, buddy. I know you were going to share just the last parts of Miranda's book of the month. And I'm going to let you get into that. And then I'm going to ask you a question at the end that I think will add value to everybody out there. Cool, buddy?
Perfect. Sounds like a plan, sir. So thank you, guys. Super excited to talk about this book that we've been reading and wrap it up. Chris has already mentioned it. I've been here about 2.5 years, direct to Mr. Chris and Lauren Cook. We are in Virginia Beach area, Virginia. And so, the thing that I loved was just listening to all the different people all across the country. Like, I think that's just so cool. Like, the opportunity is great anywhere. And what other business can you have that? So I love it. So let's look here. We'll kind of run through this quickly. Chapter 8, she's going through the get deals. And so we're on D, which is demonstrate. And so she kind of breaks down really what that stands for. And so she says that you have to set a clear and defined goal. You have to edify the training material before you dive into the meat and potatoes. You got to tell the trainee how to do it, to give them the recipe. And then the trainer needs to take the reins and demonstrate for the trainee the proper way to execute what was just explained, typically in a role play situation. If you've called your upline with a question about dialing, and your upline then decides to role play with you, and so then you can hear it, guess what's happening? Demonstrate. And so I think one of the coolest things was this learning pyramid that's on there. And it talks about the retention rate of information. And this is something that she kind of hits on quite a few times, is retention rate of learning and information. And she said a lecture is 5% retention. Reading is 10%. Audiovisual is 20%. Demonstration is right there at that 30% retention. And then discussion, practice doing, and teaching others. And I'll pause right there because I think there's something that she really kind of shows here, is the people that I've seen that are the best producers in this business are also people who are building a business. Why is that? Because you're constantly teaching what the right things need to be done to be successful in this business. You're constantly teaching those things. And so you're teaching others, and so you get better at that as well as actually just going out there and doing this business. And so she talks about some of the demonstration pitfalls, right? Because we all got to make sure we don't hit these. Number one is no demonstration. The first demonstration pitfall is pretty clear there, that there's no demonstration at all. Number two is high-speed, rapid demonstrations. So that means you're going in and out way too fast. You're not taking the time to really make sure that you're bringing all of the things into alignment. Number three is the fire hose method, too many times. What she means by that is there's just too much for the learner to absorb in that demonstration. And so she talks a lot about how this works and breaks that down. And she wants you, and she kind of gets into the second D, which is discussion. And the second meeting, because it was interesting, she kind of had two meetings there. She had demonstration and she has discussion. And she talks about it's easy to get that extra 20% of retention, and all you have to do is start a discussion around the topic by asking open-ended questions. So you begin to ask those open-ended questions, and that retention rate is going to improve for the people that you're training, and as well as for yourself to kind of keep an audit of how you're learning. She gives some really great examples of questions right there that are awesome. And so make sure that you've gotten those written down. I'll run through them quickly. What was the difference between those two examples I just gave? Which one of those examples sounds better and why? Which part of what I just demonstrated gave you a light bulb moment? How can what I just covered be used? Why is what I just explained important? Really good open-ended questions. And she talks about avoiding those closed-ended questions. And so make sure that you're aware of that. And there's a phenomenal case study to look at. Chapter 9, the next one is E for exercise, part of our Get Deals. And she breaks it down like this. She says the second E in the Get Deals process stands for exercise. Unfortunately, this is one of the most commonly missed items, and again, one of the most critical. Let's take a look at exactly what an exercise is by definition. A process or activity carried out for a specific purpose, especially one concerned with a specific skill. So the purpose of this step is to test the skill. And she shows that in the practice doing, that 75% retention rate there, where you actually go out there and practice doing it. One of the things that I think you see a lot of times is paralysis by analysis, right, in this phase for people, because there's only so much training you can do before you actually get on the phones and make a phone call because you don't have any context. So you got to have context to the training. And so you can train all day long, but you're not going to be here in 90 days if you just spend your first 90 days training. You got to get out there and go do something. And that's what she talks about. And so I love that. Chapter 10, assessment. Right? Remember, massive action, constant correction. We can't just go out there and just constantly do things. We also have to make sure that we are taking an evaluation. And she talks about that, where you actually have to evaluate. And she created a discovery list. And she just simply said, put into two categories, what went well and what to improve. So every time you go out there and you make those dials, be thinking about that. What went well and what do I need to improve? When you ran an appointment, what went well? What do I need to improve? And that's something that Chris did with me all through my first appointments. He'd ask me, okay, what went well? What do we need to do better? And it's just creating that list and then working through the assessment. The next chapter here was chapter 11. L stands for learn. And so she just said, this step will help raise your learners' retention rates by giving you the feedback you need to continue to grow from each training you conduct on your journey to becoming the highest level intentional trainer possible. In this process, you, the trainer, will learn just as much from reviewing what was learned as your trainees. But before we pull back the layer to the onion, let's look at how this helps the learner. And she's got a really cool forgetting curve there, illustration that you can take a look at. That shows how that retention happens with the first repetition within 18 minutes, second repetition within a day, so forth and so on. And so one of the things that she said here, and this was something that I liked, were these questions that she had said, and the action-taking conversation questions. What did you learn from what we just discussed? That's a huge question to ask. Because a lot of times it's easy to talk and not actually realize if you're learning anything. Let's have you recap the action plan we just discussed. What parts of what we just discussed are you going to move on first? That's a powerful question to ask your downline. Just to make sure that we're on the same page, can you tell me what we just covered, as well as can you repeat the assignment we just discussed? And so phenomenal questions that I'm starting to use in my training of people. But she talks about the pitfalls there. Make sure you avoid those. Chapter 12, final one here. S is for setting expectations. And so one of the things that I loved is she put a quote from Marshall Whalen and said, if you just master the material in this one chapter, it will change your business forever. So that caught my attention. I was like, well, that's important. And she talks about needing to set when are they going to do it and what are they going to do? Because there's two very important things. When are you going to do it? And do you know what you're going to do? Because if you don't know when you're going to make a move on something, that's not helpful. That's just about as good as wishing. But if you don't know what you're going to do as well, that's also a problem. And so then how will they do that? And so I just really, so when, how, and then that agreement and commitment of what is going to happen, and using that accountability piece to make sure that we're all working together to get better. So I really enjoyed the book. I thought it was super helpful for me. She talks about the 12-minute turbo get deals recipe there in chapter 13. But I'll keep it short and concise and end it there. There's a lot of content. I feel like you could probably sit and talk about the rest of this book for hours.
Oh, you really could. It's that good. And, you know, some of you may be out there asking yourself, well, why would I, as a new person, read a book like this? Well, it's communication. The better you get at communication and communicating, the better you get at running appointments. And so I want you really to embrace, I hope everybody's really listening to that point, because if you get good at communicating, you will be amazed at how many people you can help. And helping is what we do. Keep in mind, it's something that me and Grant's always worked with. It's like, if you really get the dynamic of what Symmetry provides, they provide you with families that are looking for help, that you are licensed to be able to help. And if you get good at listening, which is really a lot of what this book's about as well, is truly listening to the people that you're mentoring. And then you get really good at the communication back and seeing if they've actually received the information. Because something, Grant, I know me and you have talked a lot as we've worked together the past couple of years. It's like assuming that communication ever actually took place is one of the major deadly sins in communication, right?
Yep.
And what she's doing, she's not only giving information, but she's not assuming, she's letting the person that she's talking to give that feedback back to her in engagement, right? And you think that's really how we run appointments, right? Because sometimes we assume they got the information correct, right, Grant? You ever run an appointment? You're like, no, I'm pretty sure I was pretty clear with them. It's like, you know, and then you're like, well, maybe they didn't, right? Because it's one of the three reasons that you would get to think about it is when people become confused, right? So if you want to get one of the three major think about it's, man, you got to get good at communicating and just realize that's really the essence of what that book is teaching you is great communication skills, right? And engagement back from the person that you're talking to, right? So, Grant, so do me a favor, buddy. once you help me promote the next 2 book of the months and really just the impact that it's had on your career. Because certainly you've had a really good career, getting ready to be a rocket ship over the next, I believe, 6 months. I think this thing's going to go to a whole nother level for you and your organization, buddy. But let's talk about, so our new book of the month is Go for No, right? Yep. So just, can you spend just a quick minute on how that's impacted your career?
Yeah, absolutely. So when I first got here, we were doing the book of the month, and I can't remember if it was the assigned book of the month or if you were just like, here's some books that you need to read. Because I asked you, what else can I read? Yeah. And so I don't remember if it was assigned or if it was extracurricular reading that I did that you gave me. But I remember coming from pretty much being a creative director where I sat at a desk all day long and didn't really get told no, except when I asked for a raise. Other than that, because I just did tasks. I was responsive, right? We have a project, then I got to build this or do this. And it was this very kind of reactive kind of way of working. That's most W-2 jobs, right? And so coming here, though, with no sales experience, I think probably broke the record for the worst Symmetry agent in their first 3 weeks. It really helped me change my mindset, because you can, like, the skills, we can fine-tune skills all day long to figure out, okay, you need to slow down here in the phone script, or you need to speed up, or, oh, you forgot to do this. Like, we can teach you those skills. The hardest thing is the mindset. And I had to change that. And that had to shift to go from being reactive to proactive, getting out there. I think I got told no 75 times and booked 0 appointments my first week, Yeah. But I wouldn't have been able to do that if I didn't truly believe that a no wasn't a bad thing, that I have to be active. And the faster I can get through those no's, I'll hit the yeses. And so it just completely changed the way that I thought about life in this business.
Yeah. And I remember, just for me, and keep in mind my book, everybody will have a different book of that Go for No. It's only 76 pages. So one of our high challenge, high support things that we want to do to everybody out there, we're going to finish this book in the next week, right? Because we've got another book, and I'm not going to talk about it today, that literally did everything for me in this business beyond Go for No, right? So let's get this book out of the way in 1 week. That's a challenge out to the team. So if you don't have it, go and get it today. It's only 76 pages. And Grant, it's an easy read. But pages 42 and 43 talk about, in Go for No, the 5 levels of failure. And man, if you move up that chart from a mindset standpoint, it will blow your mind what you can do here at Symmetry Financial. Blow your mind. Anything you want to add to that, Grant, before we go on to the next thing?
No, I mean, I would just say I had never looked at failure the way that this book teaches you to look at failure. And so if you feel like a failure, good. You're going to love this book. It's going to help you out a whole lot. So I'm just excited for all the newbies and that's for all of us to either read it or read it for the first time.
And that's a challenge too, that you're mentioning right there. It's like some of my vets are going to be like, man, yeah, that's awesome. I read that book, got a lot out of it. Here's my challenge to you, vet that's been here 2, 3, 4 years. Read it like you've never read it before. And you're going to find something different. You're going to find something to challenge yourself at a higher level. And really, truly, like if you're a vet out there, truly identify in those 5 levels of failure where you think you graduated to. And then have a conversation with your mentor and ask them to give you feedback where they think you are. Okay. Oh, yeah. You want to talk about some life-changing stuff right there. That's some good stuff. So think about that. I want to leave you the thought process. So in the spirit of Miranda's book and giving people, one thing, we didn't want to confuse people, right, Grant? We wanted to give them something solid to get off here and get to going and just know that they could apply something to their business today to affect their business. So I sent you out a question earlier, and here's the question I posed to Grant. What's the one thing, if they started doing it today, would get them on the path to producing this month? So if you're out there and if you've struggled, or you want to take your business to another level, Grant's getting ready to give you that one thing. Now, he's going to give you one thing. Challenge is, are you willing to do it? Are you willing to do it? If you're not willing to do it, it's going to be hard to get you to where you need to get to. So I'm ready to take notes, Grant. So what's the one thing, if they started Grant Reynolds today, doing it today, would get them on the path to producing this month at a higher level, or wherever they want to get to producing, but they got to start it today? What's the one thing, buddy?
So this is going to blow some people's minds. Are you ready for it? Here it is. However many dials you consistently make, double it. Just double it. If you make 250 dials a week, double it and do 500. If you only make 20 dials in a week, you may need to do more than double, but we may need to increase that some more. But if you're doing, around that 200 to 300 dial mark, double it. If you're not, get there, because that activity always is going to have results every single time. And you're going to have more appointments, or you're going to figure out how to get better on the phones so you can have more appointments faster. That's what I would say. Whatever you're doing.
Love it. No, I love it. And keep it that simple, folks. Keep it that simple. So double, right? Double what you're currently doing, and you'll be amazed that what you're currently doing doubles, which is, if you're here at Symmetry Financial, can be a pretty powerful thing, right?
That's true.
Yeah. So I hope you took notes on that, and keep it that simple. Don't analyze it. Don't analyze it, because some of you thinkers out there, I know, well, but, like you're already Billy goating me, right? You're butting me, right? You can't butt me. Nope. He gave you the one thing that you need to do, and that's something that you can absolutely control, right? And you can absolutely control it. And so if you will control that, wow, it's powerful stuff. So go out there and control it this week. Appreciate you, Grant Reynolds, for your leadership out there, buddy. And way to go. Your team was the highest. I think you guys did over 50,000 again this past month. I'll have all of the monthly leaderboards ready next week. I've already got some of those notes out there, so we'll go over that on the next call. Appreciate you guys so much. Thank you for the example, everybody out there on the leaderboards this week. Appreciate you, Grant Reynolds. Thank you.
Thanks, sir.